Hello, I'm DM, and this is going to be a video about some of the best epic and rare characters in Raid Shadow Legends. Let's get right into it. Okay, starting with epics here, I'm going to talk about Julianna. If you pull Julianna, you got really lucky, because basically Julianna is like a clan boss god, and I'll walk you through a few reasons why. First of all, she has a double attack on her basic attack. Anyone that has like a multiple attack on basic's good, because later on in the game you get a mastery called Giant Slayer, and that basically makes you do a maximum amount of damage versus like clan boss or anything with a lot of HP. It's the way you like kill the bigger things. And if you get multiple attacks in the basic, that's good. But the reason why this one's so good is because each critical hit fills the champion's turn meter by 10%. So if you give her 100% crit rate, you basically get 20% turn meter every time she goes. And you compare her with other good epics we'll talk about later, like Skull Crusher, that just really work well with it. And then Lethal Partner is disgusting because it basically places a poison debuff on the person, and then this one's going to do HP burn. So obviously if you have poison and HP burn, and you also attack multiple times, it's probably going to be really good against the clan boss. So she just murders the clan boss. Now, I was talking about Skull Crusher. I'm going to move on to him next. Skull Crusher, I think, is one of the best epics in the whole game. And it mostly breaks down to this right here, which this move places a 50% ally protection buff on all allies, except him, for 2 turns, and then places a counter attack buff on all allies except him for 2 turns again. And the cooldown is only 3 turns, so he can do it, and there's only one turn where everyone doesn't have protection or counter attack up. And the hilarious part is he becomes unkillable for 1 turn. So he places it all, eats all the damage, but then can't die. And then the person he's protecting, like Apothecary or somebody who's on this list, by the way, heals him back up to full. He's disgusting. But also, he's really good because he basically removes all the clan boss damage by 50%. Because you have 50% buff on them, and then he can't die. So when the clan boss does his like huge slam, and it should one-shot you all or just not do a ton of damage, he takes away 50% of that damage because he's unkillable. And then you heal him back up. He's really good. So I've been very excited about him. Now he has heal reduction on his basic, which is like not bad, you know, it's okay. And then his passive is interesting. It decreases all duration of all debuffs on this champion by 1 turn at the start of each turn. If you're familiar with Star Wars Galaxy Heroes, this is basically like Trey's passive. It basically cleanses him at the start of his turn. So if he's stunned for 1 turn, he's basically not stunned at all because it cleanses him and he gets to go anyway. So it's an amazing passive. Overall, he's probably either my first or second favorite character that I own, period, just including the legendaries. He's very good. So if you pull him, nice job. Okay, let's talk Gorgo Reb. Now, Gorgo Reb you're going to see in a lot of arena, especially as you climb the ranks. And the reason why is really a few things. Okay, so first of all, he's got this move which fills turn meter by 50% and places a 50% increased attack buff on all allies for 2 turns. So 50% increased attack is disgusting, but he also gives you a jump on the person. He's kind of like Rex from Star Wars, but basically he gives you turn meter and you become stronger, and then your big damage dealer goes next and one-shots everybody. Like I use Rey right after him, right? But he also reses literally everybody and then heals them after he reses them. His basic removes a random buff, but then in arena he gains speed for all allies too, so he has like the perfect leadership. So he's really like an offensive and defensive arena beast. I have used him elsewhere. I think it was the Magic Keep. I used him to remove some of the buffs. He isn't like amazing elsewhere in the game, in my opinion. Some people disagree with that, but I would rather use my Seeker in a lot of other places, or Apothecary. But he is very good in arena. So if you pull him, he's probably going to be your arena leader until you get somebody like completely gross. Okay, Thineza? I'm not really sure how you say this name, alright? But this guy is very good too, and I'm going to tell you why. So the basic attack attacks one enemy, 15% chance of sleeping debuff for 1 turn. So right off the bat, you have a CC on basic if you get lucky. But this is really the reason why it places a 60% increased debuff on all allies for 2 turns. Heals all allies by 25% of this champion's max HP. Of his max HP. So if you get HP sets on him or something, he heals everybody a ton. And then Wither is pretty decent. Attacks all enemy, decreases the duration of all enemy buffs by 1 turn. So you can remove, counterattack, stuff like that. He's not like completely gross, but I think he's very good. I mean, he's getting like 4.9s. All the way around, he's pretty solid. So if you get him, he's going to be a staple. I really prefer Apothecary personally. I've been using him more. Now, he's a rare, so if you pull Apothecary, I always tell people that it's like pulling a legendary. You know, he's one of the best characters in the entire game. And first of all, like I was talking about with Julianna earlier, he's got multi-attack on his basic. Attacks 3 times on basic. So that means at Clan Boss, even though it's at random, he's still only going to hit the main boss 3 times, right? I mean, you can't randomly hit nothing. There's nothing else to hit there. So because of that, the Giant Slayer will proc 3 times, and you're going to get a lot of damage just off the basic. Paired with Skull Crusher, when he counterattacks from being hit by the boss, the big slam, he will go and hit 3 times again and do more damage. So paired with some people is really good. Now, this is a great heal because it does 35% of the target ally's HP, but the heal can be critical, so it's going to double it up. Crit damage does not increase this, but the critical rate does increase the chance of the crit, okay? So if it hits it, it's double, it's 70%. Now, so that's a lot of healing, but then check out this. Places a 30% increased speed buff on all allies for 2 turns. 30%, that's speed, that's great. And then fills the turn meter of all allies by 15%. So it's like Gorgo Reb's move. But then look at this. It's 2 turns for the increased speed, but it's only a 3-turn cooldown. So there's only 1 turn where you don't have speed, and that's probably going to be the 1 turn you're using your Soothing Chant to heal people. So he's really good. I use him in almost everything, okay? Now, everyone hates this guy, and with good reason. I have 4v1 into a level 60 Rhyme Beast and just straight up lost. And I had like legendaries, healing reduction, I mean everything. And this character is disgusting in Arena and can solo a lot of things in the game just because of the way it works. And let me show you why. So if you look at the basic here, it's 15% continuous heal buff on ally with the lowest HP for 1 turn. 15%, okay, on basic. And then the Open Slay attacks 2 times, revives a random ally with full HP if this attack kills an enemy. Gross, but here's the real reason. When an ally is attacked, places a shield buff equal to 35% of this champion's max HP on that ally for 2 turns. Occurs once per turn, and then you can gain 30% more. That's gross. If he has, 30,000 health, I mean, that's a 10,000 shield. Like, you get these huge, ridiculous numbers, and if he's level 60, like fully maxed out, ascended with HP artifacts, you're never getting through him. I mean, you can put your entire team into him, and unless you get CC'd and healing reduction, you'll just straight up just tank it, and you'll just sit there forever. It's gross. So if you get this guy, he's amazing, amazing, amazing for Arena. Now, I think this guy's probably the most underrated character in the game. I think he is one of the best healers in the game. If you look at the way it works, his passive heals the entire team by 10% of his max HP every time he inflicts a critical hit. So you build 100% crit on him, right? Like if you look, I have over 100% crit. But I also have an Immortal set and a Life set on him, and I have 100% crit with just 1 crit set. You do that, and then the basic is every time he crits, he gains 20% turn meter. And you only use the basic because his Lightning Strike just is does more damage than his basic, but doesn't do anything. It's literally just attack one enemy. So you just attack with the basic attack, and he gets 20% turn meter all the time. And every time he goes, he's consistently giving your entire team 4k health over and over and over again. It's amazing. He heals more than like Apothecary. He's my best healer, but he does healing from doing damage. He's really good. And I put speed on him, and I put health, and I put crit. And he just goes over and over and over again, and he's amazing. Plus, he's a green. I like the green legendary epics, those type of people, because they seem rarer than me. They seem harder to get, and there's a lot of dungeons that I need to clear that are like red, and having the green makes it easier. So I'm actually a really big fan of this guy. If you pull Vrask, don't sleep on him. Give him 100% crit, get him 5-star, and ascend him. Give him some good gear, and he will pop off, I promise you. Okay, so this is another rare that's really good. It's Cold Heart. It's a void, so you can only get from void shards, but it is a rare, so you have a good chance. And the reason is, if you look at the basic, attack 4 times at random, each has a 25% chance of placing 100% healing reduction. So the healing reduction is cool, but really the big carrying thing here is the fact that it's 4 times. So if you get the Giant Slayer, you get 4 procs to Giant Slayer on a basic attack. That's obviously amazing in Clan Boss. The other moves are alright. Attacks 30% time, places 5% poison debuff for 2 turns, so you get a little bit of poison action there. Attacks an enemy, fully depletes turn mirror, 30% chance of inflicting a critical, and then damage according to the enemy's max HP. So it scales with their max HP. She has a poison and she attacks 4 times in their basic. Very obviously, this character is like handcrafted for the Clan Boss, so she's an amazing character if you get her, and it's only a rare, so you have a pretty good chance. I have not been able to pull her, even though I've opened a pretty good amount of void shards at this time, so I'm a little bit salty about that. But for the 1,158 people that have and have rated her, congratulations. Okay, so Steel Skull is another character I have not been able to pull yet, but is a really, really good character, and let's walk through the reasons why. So first off, on the basic attack, has a 10% chance of placing 5% poison, but if you get the skill books form, it goes up to 35%, okay? Then you have the heal, which is removes all debuffs from a target ally, heals them for 40%, goes up to 50%, and reduce the cooldown with the books. This is good because you can basically remove a stun off somebody that he punches, but if you're using Skull Crusher in addition to this person, Skull Crusher normally eats the punch and he cleanses it himself anyway. Okay, moving right along, places a 60% increase defense buff on all allies for 2 turns, heals all allies by 20% of their max HP. So you get a defense up, and normally defense up and attack down are very, very important buffs and debuffs, because you got to try to stay alive, you know, as long as possible against the Clan Boss. So this is a very good character, mostly because of the basic attack here. 5% poison just on the basic is very, very good. Plus it's a double attack, so Giant Slayer procs 2 times as well. Top rated character for Clan Boss, and is really just very good all the way around the game, good for Minotaur and what have you. So if you pull this character, feel free to use your skill books on them. This is someone that really needs those. Here's another character I'd like to pull. This is Tyrell. Walk through the moves. Double attack, alright, so double proc. Each hit has 40% chance of placing a 50% decreased attack debuff for 2 turns. Damage inflicted is proportional to defense. So you can build defense on them, do more damage, but in addition to that, you get hit 2 times for the Giant Slayer, and then you get decreased attack on them so your team lasts longer. Moving on to a second move here. Attacks all enemy, 75% chance of placing a decreased debuff, defense debuff that is, for 2 turns. If the target's under a decrease attack debuff, it'll place a sleep debuff for 1 turn. Can't be used on Clan Boss. Damage inflicted is proportional to the defense. So same deal there, just debuffs basically. Pretty good. Attacks one enemy, decreases the target turn meter by 50%. If the attack fully depletes the turn meter, it places a stun debuff. Damage inflicted is proportional to defense. So basically useless on Clan Boss there. But it is a good person, because 50% decreased attack debuff on basic attack is very, very good against the Clan Boss. And then a decreased defense is very good against the Clan Boss as well, because it allows you to deal more damage, obviously. So this is very good. If you look at the ratings here, people give it 4.7, etc. But this is a character that anytime you go watch a guide or you watch like a long Nightmare Clan Boss run or anything, they normally got this character in there. So top tier. So that's about going to wrap it up. There are some other epics, some rares that are good, but I'm going to try to really only pick the ones I'm super excited to see when I open them out of an ancient shard. So anyway, guys, if you're new to the channel and you want to see more Raid Shadow Legends content, maybe you're a Raid Shadow Legends player, but you've only seen Star Wars Galaxy of Hero content on my channel, I'm going to be doing more Raid Shadow Legends content in the future. I'm going to be doing more guides, more reviews. I want to start doing like champion spotlight like things where I take a champion, talk about what I think they're good at, etc. So if that's something you think you're interested in, please hit the subscribe button so you can be notified of my future videos. I appreciate your time with me today, and have a good day.